one of the leaders in our community, Jody Orzarski, president of our West Coast Chamber, uses this phrase all the time: ripples of influence that lead to a tidal wave of impact. So I started thinking about and having this conversation this summer about things that we're doing that are causing those ripples that down the road lead to that tidal wave of impact. And the thing is, with education, we know that we don't see that tidal wave sometimes for 10, 15, 20 years down the road. As I was having this talk this summer and talking about just the value of mentors and getting people in who care about kids and how the right person at the right time saying the right thing can totally change somebody, I was having a meeting with one of our most dynamic community leaders, and he shared a story with me, and I asked him if he would come out and share that with us too, because I think it's pretty indicative of the work you're doing and how it takes a while to really see what that tidal wave of impact means. So Johnny Rodriguez, Executive Director from LAUP, if you could come up and just share a little bit.
If you were around in the 90s, you would remember the presence of gangs in that time. You know, I never knew, you always heard about people getting jumped, we'd fight, sometimes I'd meet at Boys and Girls Club to fight in the back of Van Raalte. That's just what we did. And so carrying a knife was nothing that was too crazy for me. But I remember I got busted my 7th grade year. I was expelled. And Nick and I were talking about this. Had it not been for a teacher, I don't know, he didn't have to. He was a white man, teacher, didn't have to. Came to my house on 14th Street, would sit with me in my steps, and would bring me my schoolwork. We would meet at the old Holland High School upstairs, and we'd meet there to do my schoolwork. I wasn't a bad student, but this person allowed me to continue with my schooling, allowed me to see a white man say, I see things in you and gifts and talents that I didn't see. And honestly, I didn't see even through my career as an adult. But someone else did, and it was a teacher at Holland West. And the next year I was reinstated. I was a good enough student that I didn't get held back. And I had the greatest experience in high school here. And so hopefully that's something that can stick with you as you go about showing up every day to impact these young people in our community. These are real life things that everybody's living through. All of us here have had to struggle and fight to get to where we're at. But no, there's real life issues that kids are dealing with. They're not bad kids. And sometimes, most of the time, their home life is not bad. For far too long in communities, Black and brown communities of color lack the access to opportunities and resources. Because when you're thriving and you get those opportunities, you're not going to be into messing up. You're not going to be trying to do things to just survive. And so that's what I do every day at LAUP. That's why I'm back in my community doing what we do in our youth programs, workforce development, small business hub, and even our celebrations, which is about our mission. Excellence and transformative programming is what we're focused on. And we've partnered with Holland Public Schools because you guys can't do it alone. It takes a whole community, nor is it just Holland Public Schools' responsibility, because the lack of representation is across industry, across sector. So let's do this together. Thank you for everything that you do. And can I call the teacher out? Mark Van Harmelen, I see you with a hat here. Can you come up? And you never stop cheering me on. Man, I can't thank you enough. Yeah, thank you. Good.
I'm so glad that Johnny could come out and say that, and I know that like when we talk about that impact that we see, like we might not see it right now, but know that it is making that difference, and it can be easy to give up on kids who make really bad choices. And that's not what we do here. So as I have those conversations with people about how we invest in kids and why, and you know, at times, how this could be the life-changing moment that we know for kids to get them back on track. And when they come back into our classrooms, in our schools, that we're gonna welcome them with open arms, and we're gonna make sure that we're putting them on the best path forward. And I really appreciate Johnny sharing that story, because that's what we know, how it comes full circle to see what that investment looks like down the road.